Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm Oshrik Fox, and this is our breakdown of the Owl House Episode 6, Hooty's Moving Hassle. Of course, I'm gonna issue a spoiler warning. If you have not seen this episode, go watch it and then come back. With all that said, let's dive in. The episode title is clearly a parody of the novel and Miyazaki film, Howl's Moving Castle, which in itself gives us the basic idea of where this episode's going to go. Ida and Albert, the official name for the owl that rests on Ida's staff, are playing Ida's favorite card game, Hex's Hold'em, which I believe may have a bit of foreshadowing within the match. In Hex's Hold'em, apparently your cards come to life for a battle to the death, each card assumably holding its own stats and purpose. So kind of a mix of actual cards with Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon. However, Ida's insight may have a double meaning, stating when it looks like the deck is stacked against you, you break out the wild card. The card she pulls out in question has a tower on it that reminds me of the Conformatorium, aka Luce's first adventure of Ida and King, where Luce's presence was of the utmost importance due to the need for a human to penetrate the barrier. I believe Ida's strategy applies not just to the game of cards, but the game of life in the Boiling Isles, with threats lurking out there, waiting to get their hands on Ida, including the likes of the Emperor's Coven. Ida's wild card is none other than Luce. For all we know, Ida always planned on inducting Luce into the life of witches and magic. Maybe Ida has a history with a member of Luce's family, something I theorized about proper. Check out that video if you haven't. Or maybe Ida doesn't even realize Luce is her wild card just yet, but the narrative is still planting a seed that will sprout into a beautiful tree set ablaze by the madness later down the road. Ida's curse begins to show physical symptoms, Ida gradually sprouting elongated owl feathers throughout her body, beginning at the arms. To make matters worse, she's out of elixirs. Remember, 2 episodes ago, we learned that Ida was cursed by a mysterious figure in her youth. An elixir a day keeps the curse at bay, or else she becomes a literal giant owl lady. Luce's phone, while functional, is still cracked from the events of that episode as well. But lucky for Luce, I suspect the Illusion Coven could help repair it down the road. Sure, I'm mainly saying that because mirror is the visual motif for the Covenant track, but also, I'm sure magic can fix broken glass. You telling me these witches practicing magic and no one breaks glass? Preposterous!
Glass? Who gives a shit about glass?
Ida embarks on a good old D&D quest for new elixirs, and as Luce people watches, she learns of demon hunters, nomads who seek after the most powerful demons in the land in order to make a profit off of selling them. Obviously, Ida's curse and pre-existing bounty makes her a prime target for these hunters, so we should keep a good eye on them. We also learn of moonlight conjurings, sleepovers that involve animating an object to life with moon magic, the moon itself sporting a resemblance to a skull. The incantation for the moonlight conjuring is as follows. Moonlight we call, moonlight we sing, moonlight take this chance, moonlight come tie the string, moonlight start the dance. Yeah, that's pretty snazzy. Someone should write that down. I don't know, send it to Pierce the Veil or something. This episode also sheds light on the demon realm's equivalent to cell phones, smartphones, and general social media, summoning scrolls with the service Penstagram, which is of course identical to Instagram, but they don't really focus on that rather than the mean girl slanderous attitude, so it's not a visual gag that'll date itself all too much. And we see crows in the demon realm can also be used for verbal communication. Don't let PETA watch this show. To add even more world building to the world building, Ida's quest takes her to the night market, much closer to our real life black market, a scene with much more sketchy and dangerous shopkeepers, clients, and products. So is it really smart for Ida to buy her elixirs here? Back to our trio of Luce, Willow, and Gus. While they intended to animate Beefy Bob, they end up animating the entire owl house, possessing Hooty as he sports glowing blue eyes, speaking in riddles as to Moonlight Moon wills. However, they notice they're able to command the house's movements when holding hands, working in unison, just as they did to race the house. The episode has characters draw attention to how powerful they were to bring the entire house to life. And while we know Willow has impressive latent power that was explored in the 3rd episode, I do believe it was ultimately the power of true friendship in conjunction with their natural strengths. After all, Amity's social group of fake friends wasn't even able to animate a doll on their own. Mastering magic isn't just about who's stronger and who's more focused than everyone else. It's about character. And that immediately brings the morality of Ida to light. She may be a wanted criminal, but she's pretty damn good at magic. And I think that says a lot of positive things about her character. Obviously, we'll have antagonists. We'll probably encounter a character or two who's proficient at magic and rotten to the bone, but who knows? As long as they believe they're in the right, that might be what propels their magic to greater heights. But back to Ida, the night market features the following shops: Abyssal Eyes, Madman's Candles, Poison Hut, Sordid Affairs, General Spore, Mud and Sundry, Snake Shack, I would love cheese fries from there, Iron Maidens, Stock Shocking Bonds, Grave Concerns, Crow Depot, Ooze Cruise Travel, Loans, Haunted Mass, and Man-Sized Cages. Once again, shout out to the Owl House Wiki, as Ida is introduced to the deceiving Grimhammer, or Tibbles. I gotta point out, I love how he's written. We already expect a wise guy, but the way he lures Ida into not just a game of Hex's Hold'em, but knows she'll be prone to making a bet, Tibbles pulling the same wildcard trick once they actually begin to duel, it's details like that that make the show worthwhile and worth rewatching for all of these details. I love these antagonists we had so far, but I can't wait to see what the main antagonist has to offer. Back to our trio, the Demon Hunters take control of the Owl House, impelling the living quarters with a ballista. Although Luce refers to it as a giant crossbow, close enough, same difference. As the Demon Hunters conquer, Willow reveals that her and Amity used to be friends when they were kids. When Amity's powers began to manifest and Willow had nothing to show, Amity cut her off, leading to the rivalry they have now, where Willow is finally blossoming and showing what she's made of. But this has me thinking, was it Amity's decision to cut off Willow, or do we finally need to begin to look at Amity's home life? The parental figures who would have influenced her to cut off Willow in the first place, who have likely put all of this pressure on Amity. Let's save that for a later video. We get a very nice glimpse of Willow unleashing a multitude of branches onto the hunters just by being able to grab onto a single one. And on that note, what Luce says about Willow being the second most powerful witch she knows behind Ida, it seems pretty objective thus far, aside from Lily and the Emperor's Coven. I have a good idea of where this can go way down the road in the show, but we'll theorize that in another later video. That's right, cliffhangers all around. After scamming the scammer, Ida gets her elixir as Tibble swears revenge, and I feel as if that's a genuine threat. I could definitely see it making a shocking yet comedic return eventually. And last but not least, Ida disciplines the kids, making them clean the house, which shows she does care about showing consequences for disobeying orders, even if she's a lawbreaker. But she does promise to join in on their conjuring next time, which I believe is also a genuine promise of things to come, even if it's an episode next season. Though I would love if the show did a conjuring episode per season, ultimately bringing the Course of Boiling Owls Resides on to life. Let's go, I can't wait to see how wild the show gets. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. What were your thoughts on this episode? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at Thoughts. We're also on Instagram. Help that of a girl by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thoughts, signing out.